And we are live. What's going on, everybody? We have some very special guests today. We got Gary with Chesapeake Beard and Grooming Company, also Peak CBD. What's going on, Gary?
Howdy.
Okay, what's going on? He's doing some making for us while we're sitting. And then we got my really good friend Jonnie Grooms. He's on the reviewers table. He's also on Beard Therapy. Really close friend of mine. So happy to have you on. What's going on, Jonnie?
Oh, not much. Got my ice cream here and got my beard. So my beard and dessert. So
there you go.
You're desserting early, Jonnie. It's not dessert time yet.
It's not dessert time yet?
Well, you can keep eating it. It's so good.
It was dessert time. I got a whole pint here.
There you go.
Oh, that's okay. We can talk about it. So let's go there. Since you are eating, what are you eating today for dessert?
I am having it's called Netflix and Chilled from Ben and Jerry's.
Nice.
It's a non-dairy. And it is a peanut butter, sweet and salty pretzel swirl fudge brownie ice cream.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds really good.
It's ice cream without the moo.
Yeah. It's made with almond milk.
Yeah. Is it made with almond milk?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'll tell you, I don't mind almond milk at all. I think it's tasty. So that leaves me with James. What is going on, James? What do you got going on?
What is going on? So I got two things. Well, I wouldn't say one is dessert, more savory, but I did I made bread. Another kind of bread. I did like a smoked cheddar bread.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah, I did like a whole.
Ooh.
And then brownies.
You can't say ooh, Jonnie. It's not vegan.
I can be impressed.
So what is and so I have a just a regular Danish. It looks really good though. Like a raspberry Danish.
Raspberry?
Yeah, raspberry. I think it's raspberry. My wife
Get
gets
any viewers watching yet? I can't see the chat.
I don't have any clue because I'm not seeing any chat. I'm like, hey, and nobody's here. They're all like, hey, we didn't even know about this stream.
Yeah, I don't see anybody. I just checked the comments. I'm like, I don't see nobody.
Yeah, there's absolutely nobody in stream.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we'll just
I'm
hang out
here.
until...
You're here. Jonnie's here.
Yeah.
We're all here. That's all that matters.
Got my ice cream, got my hard cider. I'm happy.
There's 2 viewers. We have 2 whole viewers right now.
Yeah, Beard about to Disney.
Big time.
What's up, Vato? What's up, Disney?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Orale, Vato. How you doing, Daniel?
Yeah. And then you know that Gary has he's like the snack aficionado. That dude has snacks I've never even heard of. He's got some good snacks.
What you got?
What do you got, Gary?
Tonight, it's over here. So once I'm done with this, I have a Mrs. Bluegrass chocolate chip Twix cookie.
Ooh, jealous.
Yeah, Twix cookies.
That's what I got.
I need to go.
Be jealous.
I need to go visit.
Jealous.
I need to go visit. I need to go visit Hookem because Hookem's ain't that far from me. I saw Hookem got some cookies. So.
Oh, did he get some cookies from Bluegrass?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Oh,
very
who
nice.
Did? Oh, Joey Hookem did. Yeah.
Joey Hookem. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That is
messaged
very
me
cool.
a picture. He goes, "Oh, these are good." I'm like, "Bro, I know. I'm eating one right now."
I love that. So tonight we're just going to keep kind of a theme going. The one thing that Gary has, I can tell that Gary, and actually we were talking a little bit ago on Reviewers Table about music. And so Gary recently released something that kind of was Nirvana inspired. And I think the month before was Valens, which is Richie Valens, right? So of La Bamba fame, he has some other songs that are out there.
See.
Yep.
Yeah,
so definitely
let's go, Donna. Ooh, my head. Yeah.
Yep. I knew that there was some other songs. And then you're also going to be doing, I don't know, are you going to be doing some more music type of sense coming up, or is that too soon?
Selena, right?
Uno más for this year. One more for this year, and it will be Selena at the request of one Mr. G. Cruz.
There we go.
What Poppy wants, Poppy gets. Just kidding.
Wow.
Respectfully.
Disrespectfully. That's me.
Disrespectful. Yeah, so we're gonna do Selena.
Oh, you really are doing.
I don't know
Selena.
what month. I think it's gonna be October. No. Yeah, we are gonna do Selena.
Okay.
I think maybe September. I can't remember. Cruz and I talked about it. It's correlating with her first album or her last album.
Oh,
I
that's
can't
cool.
remember.
Well, that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
See, I've really enjoyed. I've enjoyed the theme type of when they have a theme like that with some of that with the beard sense. Have you tried any of that, James? Any of the any sense of the month stuff from anybody?
James doesn't buy my stuff anymore because I'm not part of the club.
I'm actually wearing your stuff today.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, and I can't prove it, so you could say whatever. I'm wearing your stuff today too, James.
You wear my stuff too? That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He's got food sense in him. Food
James
sense.
makes the best. Yeah.
He
I'm
does
wearing your
make.
smoked cheddar bread all over my body.
Ooh. I'll send you this loaf over here.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Well, that went a little. That went somewhere.
Loaf.
Now we're talking right now.
I mean, if we're gonna carry on the theme of last Thursday.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
I will tell you that was my favorite show.
You know what I like about that show is that
I love her. Tanya's so
yeah, we were very. I know. I mean, James got her, so I was really excited, and her music is really, really good. And then there's Jonnie, who again talking out of the blue. He's like, "You remember this band named Kitty?" And I'm like, "We're really going to have the bassist on our show." Crazy, because that was one of your metal, like hidden metal gems type of band.
Yeah, when I was I think that was when I was in high school. Yeah, kind of one of the bands I never told anybody I was listening to because they were, it's all female group, and like, when you're in high school, people talk and they have a certain way of thinking and things like that. So
true.
Yeah.
You listen to that Kitty group.
There's very few female. Yeah, there's very few female front people that I dig. So it's hard to find an all-female band and be like, yeah, I love that band.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with females. I mean, it's just. I think it's just the tone, the voice sometimes registers different in your ears. You know what I mean?
I think my favorite. So we can go there. So favorite female-led rock band, or I guess we could go into. I don't really want to go to pop. So favorite rock band, maybe ska band. I'm thinking one specifically, but go ahead, James. What do you think?
I got two.
One band I saw them live. It was actually In This Moment.
Oh, cool.
And she's got it's a female artist.
Very nice. In This Moment. Now, what are they playing? They're playing rock, or are they playing metal, or what? Are they?
Metal. Yeah.
Metal. Nice.
Yeah, I saw them at a metal show.
Very cool. What about you, Jonnie? What's your favorite rock female band? Or it can be female front singer.
Well, when it comes to female, I like Flyleaf.
Yeah, she's good.
I like her, and also like I like Evanescence because she's talented. Like I like to,
And she's finer than the hair on a frog's ass too. Tell you what.
That is true.
Evanescence, yeah. That's who I was going to go with. I was going to go with Evanescence, and then I was going to go No Doubt.
Okay.
Not really. She's kind of ska, but I like her a lot. She has really good vocals. And who's your band, Gary? Who's your female? You said you had.
Pat Benatar and Say Ferris.
Oh, Pat Benatar. She went solo. She was in Heart too, right?
No.
Joan Jett.
Yeah, because
Right.
you said Joan Jett. Because you said like ska and punk, so I know like Benatar's kind of like. If I was just gonna go rock, it'd be Benatar and Stevie Nicks.
Oh, Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
You got us. Come on, she's
Yeah, Stevie Nicks is
classic.
really good. I
Stevie
saw one
Nicks,
of
you
her.
can't not have her on your list.
I saw one of her lives on like Netflix or something, and it was really, really
Not a
good.
pick, no doubt. I love Gwen Stefani. I think she is gorgeous, but man, I can't stand listening to her. They're just
Just not
Yeah.
not your thing.
yeah.
I don't know. I always thought that she was. I liked her first few albums. I didn't like. I just remember the first really big hits that No Doubt did, and was always like a big fan. What was that female group? Was it like the Cranberries?
Yeah.
Cranberries.
Yeah, they were a female group, right? They were a female lead singer.
No, female led.
Female led. Yeah.
Then you
Yeah.
had like Garbage. You know what's funny? Garbage was actually a band put together, but you had the singer, and then you had everybody else was just producers and stuff. They just kind of came together and played with her and became Garbage.
Like session artists.
No, they were like actual producers, like
Oh,
who
okay.
played as well, and they just kind of like said, "Hey, we're gonna play with you," and it became Garbage.
Oh, interesting.
Look it up, research it, you see.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Paramore.
Was it Shirley? What's her name? I don't know, but she's gorgeous too.
Do you think that you have that? I can't think of anybody that. I mean, most rock bands, I don't think of, other than maybe the Rolling Stones not having a very good lead front man. I can't think of a really bad-looking lead man. You know, where you'd be like, yeah, homely guy. I think that
dude,
they also have
the lead singer of the Cars was uglier than dog snot. The Cars.
Rick Ocasek. Rick
Oh,
Ocasek.
Yeah.
He's my twin. What are you talking about?
D. Snyder.
Oh, okay.
I can keep going. I mean,
There was a lot of
there's some
80s,
ugly dudes.
a lot of 80s bands that had bad looking,
Meatloaf.
fronts. Yeah.
Oh, Meatloaf. Okay, so what was Meatloaf? What was the one thing he wouldn't do? Does anybody know?
He wouldn't do that.
We wouldn't do that.
That's facts.
But I won't do that. What is it that he wasn't going to do?
That's what the mind keeps. That's where your mind keeps going. It's obviously
For like 30 years. Like, what won't he do?
He's got some good music though.
He does have good.
Is there an answer for that? Like, if I Google it, will it come up?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Look for it.
But he won't do that.
Google it.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
let's see what the Google answer is.
See what it comes up with.
Wait, what was
What Meatloaf wouldn't do.
one thing Meatloaf?
That- Wouldn't do.
Well, what was the one thing Meatloaf wouldn't do for love?
Ron says take it in the rear.
He won't do that. Wow, no.
I've actually heard that before. That's the one thing he won't do. Was
It's
it?
a
So
good
that
song,
was.
though.
It is a good
Did
song.
you know Meatloaf was in the movie Wayne's World?
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
not know that. I don't remember Wayne's World very well.
Andy,
It just gives me the lyrics.
Hmm.
can you find Meatloaf on Instagram and message him? Hey, bro, what is it you won't do for love?
Question for you. In your song,
What is it? Won't you do?
He'll be like, Jonnie, I won't do that.
I remember seeing an interview where somebody had actually said that he kind of explained what it was that he wasn't going to do. You never know.
oh, it's never. He would never lie. I think it's he would never lie.
Oh, interesting.
He would do anything but lie to his partner or cheat on her once.
Oh.
That's what someone says.
But didn't he actually have an affair, though?
so I guess he
lied.
would do,
All of them.
I guess he would do that. It was a song lyric, so
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Song.
And it was written by somebody else anyway. That's the one thing that's so disappointing sometimes. It's like, so country is embedded with folks that never write their own music. Now, there are some artists that do, but like George Strait, none of his music was written by him for the most part. I mean, I don't know of anyone's where he actually.
You want to hear something interesting?
Yes.
Do you know that country song by Randy Travis? And I thought that he walked on water. That song?
Okay.
No.
I don't
My
remember
cousin
it,
wrote
but
that song. My cousin wrote that song.
really,
That's good.
Yep.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
his
cool.
last name is Shamblin. He's like a third cousin. But yeah, if you look up the credits for that song, his last name is Shamblin.
Well, see, and that's
He's
what
a
country music
writer.
does. Now 80s rock, I think that when I looked at the lyrics when we were younger, most of them were written by the artist. But I don't know. I always wondered about GNR because GNR always had like random people playing in their band. So I always thought maybe they also have they have lyricists and stuff like that help them.
Yeah, but they don't always write the songs. So, like, let's take Taylor Swift, for example. She does do a lot of her songwriting, but she'll also sit in a room with different producers and songwriters, and they'll write songs together.
Well,
So they do sometimes, but not all the time. And there ain't nothing wrong with that because it's basically the performance. And that's why there's a whole genre called singer-songwriter. So, you know what I mean? Like Cat Stevens, you know what I mean?
oh, right.
Yeah, I broke out Cat Stevens, so what?
You did. He went back. He went back in time with Cat Stevens.
So Disney Beersman says, I have an amazing woman singer that no one mentioned. Lizzie Hale.
Uh-oh. Who?
Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm.
Okay. I don't know who Hailstone is.
I heard of
yeah,
them. I heard of them.
Hailstorm.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
You want to see what makes my life so much easier, guys? So I
Yes, let's see it.
finally got my Vitality labels on a roll for my label applicator. And now look, so I just stick them on here. Can you see that?
Oh, that's cool.
And look, and I just
Nice.
there,
Nice.
and it's on there.
Ah.
No more sitting here and doing them all by hand and making my hands hurt. And of course, I always
Very
got to
nice.
check them to make sure they go on right. Anyway, that's enough of stuff. Back to music.
Oh, so
That's
that's cool.
cool.
That almost look a
I'm
little
not here
funky.
for that.
Hailstorm. Hailstorm. Holy moly. She's pretty good looking too. She has almost like a Eastern European look to her in the picture that I'm looking at. Beautiful lady.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. I'll have to go check them out. See, every time that we talk, James, or talk with a group, I'm always like finding new music so I'm going to say that I got stuck in the 80s and 90s. And then I didn't really progress with rock past that for the most part. Like I know some like Dope, like that's a kind of an industrial metal band. I like Dope a lot.
What's funny is about Dope, the actual one of the drummers of Dope, I went to school with.
That's right. You were telling me that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I actually got a few drum lessons from him too.
Did you really? That's cool.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I stopped taking drum lessons because he
I have
lives
some
like
music
an hour
news,
away.
Andy.
He lived
lives
an
like
hour away.
Yeah, so I had to stop taking
Oh,
it
that
and just get
sucks.
him to. Yeah.
So my claim to fame is, do you guys know who Dokken is?
Wow.
So Dokken's lead guitarist is George Lynch, and he lived 4 doors away from me. And then he moved away shortly after I moved there, but it was like he lived there for about a year or two when I first moved into the neighborhood. And then he created that band called Lynch Mob. Lynch Mob's actually really good. If you guys are looking for some really good 80s and then transitioning into some 90s rock, Lynch Mob and Dokken are I think they're underrated. I always thought Dokken was like a really good rock band. Like not extremely metal, but it was like definitely 80s metal or 80s hard rock, but I really liked them. And the guitarist is really good. Like I listen to guitar because I'm a guitarist. So, he's in the same elk as like Richie Sambora, George Lynch. Just some great stuff. Thinking, who else is another? Well, Eddie Van.
Music news, Andy.
What do you got? Music news for you? What do you got?
So it'll be updated on the website soon. They have a separate page like for them, but CBG now has an official band behind the brand.
Nice.
Oh,
The band
that's
is
really
they're a
cool.
punk ska kind of rock band out of Oregon. They've been a band for many years. They performed for a long time. They were with Capitol Records. They toured in Europe. Um, and then they took a little hiatus because, you know, wives, marriages, babies. And then they recorded the new album. We're going to do a comeback tour. And then COVID hit. So that's on hiatus. And I just ordered their vinyls from them because they're like, no, we'll send them to you. I'm like, no, I'm going to buy them. Anyways, the band is called My Life in Black and White. Check them out. They're on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. My Life in Black and White. I spoke with the drummer, who's a customer as well, for over an hour yesterday. He's hashing out details and stuff. But yeah, so all their music's going to be in our ads. They're going to be on our YouTube videos, outros, intros. So yeah, so they are the official band. So when you see ads with music, and we'll have their name listed there for their credits, it will be that band, which aligns with the brand because, you know, I've always kind of been like a music rock kind of theme, that kind of stuff. Anyways, so it's just pretty rad. They're excited. I'm excited. All the members except for one have a beard, but the other one, hey, we have hair, brother. So their music is really good. And I had a few bands reach out, but this one, just the songs that spoke to me more, and like it just fit like who I am. So I had to go with them. And the drummer lives 15 minutes from where my brother lived in Oregon. So just kind of all worked out.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that is really cool, man. See, that's a really cool. What do you think? Say that again, James.
And I said I'm gonna check them out later on. I just subscribed to them.
Yeah, that's cool, huh?
Yeah, they're gonna be. We'll have a page on the website for them. We'll post a couple of their videos on YouTube and some information about them.
Nice.
Just because, you know, that's kind of like where I'm going with my brand is like, you know, we have our logos, the CBGB style font, you know, and it just fits who I am as a person. And music has always been a huge part of everything I do.
Right.
So when I went looking for, I got tired of using just generic music in my ads and stuff because the copyright issues. I'm like, you know what? I need to find a band who wants to become part of the team and we can just rock with them, give them more exposure. So we had a good turnout as far as responding to my request. And these guys sent me the links. And once I listened to them, it was done. Like, I'm like, you guys are it.
Oh, that's cool, man. See, and I love that about I love that being able to mix that art with art, because I think that, again, a beard company is an art. You know, being able to do these scent mixologists, that's art. There's art in that, and then you're actually just extending it into you can do the artwork. So, like Oz the Great, he's a really good artist, and he's throwing a lot of really great stuff down. Fable has that really good artist who's like I guess he was an ex-Disney guy. I can't remember. I think that's the story I heard. But Fable's artist. You don't have an artist, really.
Yeah,
you do. Yeah, you do.
So my artist is from Von Zombie Studios in Arizona.
Oh, cool.
I actually worked on the police force with him. He's also a tattoo artist, and they have a bunch of business and stuff. But before he became a cop in the military, he actually did a lot of sci-fi stuff, and he worked in the costume and makeup area, some old like B-rated horror movies, you know.
Right.
So he's always been into that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's who does the like the Aberdeen. He did that art.
Oh, cool.
He doesn't do all our labels, but when I wanted to get it really artsy, then he does it.
What about the Ginger Raz?
Yep, he did that.
That's a cool bottle. Yeah, that's cool. So now you're going to do the music. So that'll be like your theme music for like in the background of your marketing ads.
Yep, that'd be the music we use for any ads. It'd be the music we use for our intros and outros for the YouTube channel, because we're going to start getting that, you know, fully functioning.
Right on.
We're actually going to do a scent for them as well. You know what I mean? So we'll be involved with them, and it's gonna be cool. And when they do their after COVID's all settled down, they do their CD release party, for their album release, whatever you call it. I'm going to try my best, but go there and support and hook up with them there for their album release.
Oh, that's really cool. That is really cool.
Nice.
So Disney Beardsman had a question. He said, "What was everybody's first concert?" His was Seven Dust. His was Seven Dust with the opener of Stained.
Oh,
1991
really?
Scorpions Face the Heat World Tour. Scorpions and King's X.
There you go.
I was 11.
Nice.
I didn't go to a lot of concerts, so I only went to. I can count on 2 concerts. One concert. Yeah, I've only been to one concert. Yeah, the other one was
Really?
was just the fun, the band Fun. That was it. That's the only concert I ever went to.
That's cool.
I love them more. It's the format.
That's cool. So my was AC/DC. So
Mine was.
And I did.
Well, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
It was. I think it was like 2000. I went to a lot of like little local bands like in St. Pete and Tampa, but like the first big band was probably a Summer Sanitarium tour. Was Metallica. It was headlined by Metallica, and then there was like Mudvayne, Linkin Park. There's all the new metal like Limp Bizkit, Deftones.
Oh, cool.
And then obviously Metallica was the closer.
I really like. Did you guys ever do any of the? Did you ever hear of the Monsters of Rock, where they had like some of those 80s? There's like those Monsters of Rock. They had like Iron Maiden in it. That they had. So that leads to 80s rock. So what was your 80s rock band? If you were to choose like an 80s rock band, and I know that Gary was more into the punk stuff, so you can choose punk, but what was your 80s rock punk band?
80s?
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, I was born in 1980.
Okay. So we'll go. So he really liked.
So in the 80s, I was into like the Beach Boys and New Kids on the Block. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what
I'll tell you what, I
that's what I was
remember
representing, yeah.
about.
Okay, anybody who's old
10,
enough.
9 or 10.
I was born
I
in
remember
83.
Van Halen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was listening to
Not
rock
all
and
old like you, Andy.
I know. I just aged myself. Like I was a total rockin' kid in the 80s. Like that was I first started picking up albums in 80, like 81, 82.
Yeah. But I mean, my early influences would probably be like The Clash, Sex Pistols.
There you go. Those are the.
Yeah, I mean, you've got those kind of guys. You have even Social Distortion started really early in the 90s, even earlier. You mean that kind of.
I think who's the lead singer from Sex Pistols? It's just like he's like crazy. And did he?
Who?
I don't know if he passed. Was it the lead singer?
Sex Pistols? That was
Sid Vicious. He wasn't. He was a good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sid and Nancy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. He had such a crazy life, and did he pass on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. That's what I thought. But he was innovative for his time, for sure. So if you were to, so you went 80s. Where did you go? If you guys were to pick an 80s band, maybe you weren't alive yet or really listening to it yet. But what would you say your 80s hard rock band was? That's a huge decade. Yes, Scorpions is awesome. Yeah.
Because that was my first show in 91, and they'd already been established for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I picked up their Savage Amusement in like 85, 86.
I mean, I remember growing up. I was born in 83, but I was growing up. All I heard was like Guns N' Roses and Ozzy Osbourne, because that's what my dad listened to.
Ozzy's good.
So
yeah,
a lot of that. Yeah.
Ozzy. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I'll go ahead, James. What do you got for 80s metal?
I was gonna say like Van Halen for sure, because I knew who Van Halen was like when I was I said I mentioned this thing last week. When I used to ride in the car with my mom, whatever, she used to be like, "Oh, who sings this song?" Like on the radio, it'd be like maybe from Van Halen, a guitar riff from Van Halen. So Van Halen, ZZ Top would be another one.
Van
Uh,
Halen, not Van Hagar.
No, not Van Hagar. No, not Van Hagar.
Nope. David Lee Roth was the guy.
Yeah,
He
Ozzy.
was the frontman. Ozzy's a great one.
Journey, a lot of Journey too.
Journey's good. Journey's good. That was that whole 80s like soft metal, like soft rock kind of hard rock.
Power ballads?
Yeah, they had a lot of power ballads. Still good. I mean, women through things. So I think I started listening to like 84, 85. So I'm going to go, man, there's so many good bands in the 80s that I loved. I think I started off with Bon Jovi is definitely in there. Sabbath with, I like Sabbath with Ozzy, and then I also like him with Ronnie James Dio when he was with them before he became just Dio. But Ronnie James Dio did like 2 or 3 albums with Sabbath after Ozzy left. Ozzy, of course, Blizzard of Oz. I think that's actually like one of the first albums I ever listened to was Blizzard of Oz. AC/DC is my all-time band. Like they're simple to play, but you can't go wrong with AC/DC. Motley Crue. You can't go wrong with Crue. Have you guys been to a Crue
I remember
concert?
being in the 4th grade. No.
4th grade. You were in 4th grade, and you guys were all like youngsters. I'm like talking to the wrong.
I remember in 4th grade, the kid walks in with his band shirt. I'm like, "Who is Metallica?" This is Metallica. It's Metallica, idiot. I'm over here, new kids on the block. I don't know Metallica.
I remember in 8th grade when Master of Puppets was like a thing, and my friend had his concert T-shirt, and I was like, "Master, that was such an it has such an epic the shirt had like the album cover on it, so it had those crosses on it." Mm-hmm. Metallica was such a freaking. That was when I think Metallica was at its heyday. Was Master of Puppets. And then, yeah. Ride the Lightning is probably
my favorite album.
And Justice for All is a great one.
Ron mentioned Celtic Frost. I've heard of them, but it's been a while since I've heard of them. Celtic Frost.
I'll have to go check them out. Celtic Frost.
I've only heard of them. I've heard of the band. I've heard maybe a few of their songs.
I like. Is that older metal?
I think so. Yeah, if it's older, like I'd say maybe 90s.
I think
90s.
Ron went to high school with Dio.
I think so.
Wow, that's a heck of an album.
I think Ron and Dio were in the same daycare. Love you, Ron.
Yeah, Jersey Ron. You gotta love Jersey Ron.
King Diamond, yeah.
Pantera. You can't go wrong with Pantera. And they're still 90s, but they still Korn.
I never got into the Pantera. Like I like them, but I'm not like Pantera forever. No.
So I don't know if you guys in Arizona, there is a certain Pantera lover, and they put huge Pantera stickers on their trucks, and they're always jacked up usually, and they're blaring their Pantera everywhere they go, and that's usually just a Pantera sticker right across the back of their window, and that's the only. What?
That's
I've yet to see that around here, but
yeah.
So they just drive around like blaring Pantera, and that's it.
That's what I see them, and they're like every time they open their car, there's Pantera blaring in the background.
Pantera Mobile.
Yeah, wow. And it's like almost the same. Like, okay, there's a Pantera lover, and it's always a truck, and he always has the same Pantera sticker, and I'm just always like, yep, that guy's. He looks, and they're usually like long. They still have the long hair.
Okay. So this is like a class of people. This is not like
Yeah.
the way I was thinking. It was like this is like one guy or like one group of friends that ride around in this Pantera car. So this is
no.
Pantera gang.
These
We're
are the
Pantera
guys
gang.
that I know that love Pantera, that you can tell. I love Pantera, and they have the same Pantera sticker, and they're like, it's like, okay, cookie cutter of this Pantera lover guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's like purple. It's like purple people.
Yes.
Like people who like the color purple. I mean, they really love the color purple.
My sister is a purple person.
Purple person. You see what I was talking about? Like, everything is purple.
Yes.
I like purple, but
Freaking net job. The only cool thing that's purple is Grimace.
I haven't thought about Grimace in forever. I don't. Did you guys used to go on the? Well, you guys see the playgrounds by the time that you guys got old enough to play on the playgrounds.
No, I
They
had
used-
them. I had them.
I had them. Mayor
Did you?
McCheese, the
Arizona,
burglar.
baby.
Okay. Did you have the outside ones where it was like this, like jail in the Hamburglar?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shaped like a hamburger.
Yeah.
I never got
Okay.
that. Okay. I never got that. Like,
But speaking of Grimace, you know there's a McDonald's themed like metal band.
Is there really?
it's called Grimace.
It's called Max Sabbath.
Max
Yeah.
Sabbath.
I swear to God.
They have one
I swear
after
to God.
Ned. They have a Ned Flanders.
Yeah, Ned Flanders. The Ned Flanders metal band. They all dress like Ned Flanders.
That is so. That's my perfect
Go
band.
look it
is-
up. Go look it up. It's crazy. It's insane. Max Sabbath.
That's got to be a fun
Mhm.
show to go to.
The other day, I saw a really good retro band. So it was a female-run band, and they just play Sabbath songs. They were like playing Bloody Sabbath, and I'm like, oh wow! And that lady sounded a lot like Ozzy. It was good. It was a really good. I was like, it was on one of those reels where you go through Instagram, and I just kept picking up this one band, and it was like a retro, like a all female band that played Black Sabbath songs.
Huh.
Do you guys get into I love Sabbath, and that to me that was like the beginning of heavy metal. Like Sabbath was it. Like the other ones are like maybe the beginning of some hard rock, like Led Zeppelin. But I think if you think of metal bands, I think Black Sabbath, maybe Iron Butterfly. But I talk.
Yeah, there's a picture of it.
Oh no, that's
That's
crazy.
Max
No.
Sabbath.
That's
Yeah.
pretty bad.
Max Sabbath. What are their songs? Get down with the Big Mac.
We say
can
Grimace,
watch
it
them on
reminds me of a metal band. When Susie was mentioned Grimace.
Gave my bluegrass cookie.
I've been trying to get
So the-
bluegrass cookies.
The Ned Flanders band is called Oakley Dokley.
Oakley Dokley. That's the yeah.
Rightfully so.
That's awesome.
You guys
So you
feel
guys
like-
know that Chris TC and
Wow.
TCBL or whatever, he calls me Ned Flanders. That's my moniker with him. You know,
Oh,
Ned
you're not
Flanders
Ned
over there.
Flanders?
Yeah, I'm a bad boy. What are you talking about? I'm really bad. You don't understand. I'm not Ned Flanders.
I don't know. When you get angry, it's like when you say that when you pull out the
When I throw
when Andy pulls out the gosh darn, it's like you gotta hit the deck.
gotta hit. He's mad. He's
Is
mad.
that
He's
the
very mad.
grenade? That's the grenade.
He said, "Gosh darn it!"
You just pulled the pen.
Yeah.
Yeah. he's about ready to say some more
Gosh,
GDs.
Gosh darn it.
He said, "Oh my goodness."
You gotta run.
Yeah. He's ready. He's ready. So I've privied in people into the fact that I have a double life. So in a former life, I drank a lot and I cussed a lot, and my wife met that guy, the drinker, the guy that drank way too much, partied all the time. Like I think that me and Christy's first 10 dates were all like us going and crashing out a bar for the night. And, then I think we kind of, after we got married, we kind of settled down, but a little bit. But, I think I hit my 40s and I think I got a little old for it, but.
That's so funny because when I met my wife, I didn't drink at all. I didn't drink at all until I met her. And, not saying, I know how this sounds. No, but that's just when we started, like, I started like drinking and stuff like that. When drinking with her and stuff like that, and partying with her. But before that, I was a very good boy. Like, I didn't do nothing.
You were like, well, she's turned you to the dark side, apparently. No. No. I think sometimes you just like, this is what you guys do. You guys hang out. You guys party a little bit. Maybe drink a little too much. I'm now boring, though, because now but you know what? I think not drinking, and Gary, were you ever much of a drinker back in any day? Because I know you don't drink now.
I've been sober for a long time. I recovered.
Okay, gotcha.
So I had my battles. I had my demons.
Yeah, we all do. So what I've noticed that watching people drink is much more fun than you drinking, because when you're totally sober, watching somebody just be so silly, you're just like. There's one guy I used to go to the American Legion, and there would be a bar. I would drink tea. Christy would drink some beer, and we'd hang out with some friends that Christy worked with. And American Legion is kind of a vets society kind of group for people that don't know. So I was a son of American Legion, so that's how my dad's ex-military. So we're hanging out, and there'd be guys that would walk in. Former military, yeah. Vet. He's a vet, yeah. An ex sounds like he's former military. So we would go in, and there would be like the guy that we would start talking to, and then he wouldn't remember us from the last time that we were there, because by the time that he left, he was like falling down. Like, he doesn't remember me. And then about halfway through the night, he would remember me for a while. Come over, be my best friend for a while, and then at the end of the night, it was just like he wouldn't. And that was like all of the guys at this American Legion. It was very interesting, to say the least. But it was much more fun watching them, because I was like, I don't have the hangover the next day.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I have a few friends that like, I like them when they're not drinking, but when they're drinking, it's like very hard to tolerate them. So I end up leaving early. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not drinking, if I'm drinking, then like I don't care. It's whatever. I don't notice, so to speak. More I don't notice. But when I'm not drinking and they're drinking, it's like I can't believe I'm friends with these people.
Well, that's like when I was in college, I had my friends that I had that were my serious, like going to school friends, and then I had friends that I would go out when I drank. Mm-hmm. And they could not be the same friends, because I was that polar opposite of a person. Either I was the life of the party, or I was the dull guy who was going to go and study with your friends. Right. There wasn't, and there was, you could not hang out with both, because one was wild, crazy, dancing all night, Andy. And then there was, book studying Andy, who was more serious about getting the grades. But yeah. So we're going to go down 90, since everybody doesn't remember the 80s because they were really not born then or born in that decade.
I mean, yeah, I was born in 83, so whatever.
I remember 83 as though, because I was like 12 or 13 at that time. No, I was not. No, at 83 I was 10. 83 I was 10. But yeah. But I started listening to, my parents were, so my family is all musicians. So I started listening to music when I was really early. Like I remember listening to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon album. I remember some. I mean, that's an excellent. I don't. If you guys are into Pink Floyd, that is the epitome of great Pink Floyd, or The Wall, right?
Yeah.
But I love Pink Floyd. But she would listen to Led Zeppelin. She's a guitarist as well, so she played all the really great old classic rock albums. And then she was a huge Beatles fan. So I grew up a lot with the Beatles. So that was my upbringing, was a lot of Beatles, like especially the White Album. I don't need are you guys familiar with the White Album?
I know.
No.
I know. My wife is way more into all musics, like all genres, and she's so good with music that like you can play her like 2 notes from a song, and she's like, "That's this, and this from this album," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." You know, she's like that.
I love that.
My parents were mixed. Like growing up in the 80s, my dad listened to a lot of like rock and metal. My mom was more of a disco kid. And so
okay.
there was a lot of like dance music, a lot of Latin dance music and things like that. So, yeah.
That's still cool though. I mean, I remember
it was a very mixed, like, genres of music up in my house. You know, it was like.
But that's what's cool, because I think that music influences us as adults to like different types of music and enjoy different types of music. Because if you listen to just the same type of music over and over, your parents just, I don't know too many people that just grew. I mean, when you guys were all born in mostly the 80s, right? You guys were all born in the 80s.
Yeah, 83. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was when metal started really hitting. That was when metal was out. There was some like 80s poppy stuff. I mean, there was 80s punk. I mean, there was just so many good 80s genres of music. But
Hip-hop?
Yeah, hip hop came out. I mean, you think about it: Run DMC, Beastie Boys.
No, I'm talking about synth pop.
Oh, synth pop. What is? Oh, yeah, synth pop. Yep. Cyndi Lauper and Boy George and what was the other? The Police. Oh, geez. I remember the first time I saw a Police, or actually, do you guys ever heard of Adam Ant?
Oh yeah.
I've heard of that. I don't remember any.
He did this like, he's like a British. So there was like a small British invasion that I was living in Britain at the time. So it wasn't a British invasion because I was living there. But there was a small, like in the 80s, that's where the Police came in, Sting, which was, part of the Police. But all of those bands that were in that, there was like this small British, and there was like a British punk invasion where that's where they were wearing the mohawks. And I remember walking around and seeing the people with mohawks on. That was like their expression. It was amazing. It was an amazing, like early 80s. And Adam Ant was in that kind of like British invasion, kind of like it was really good. He was interesting, to say the least. But you guys were more 90s. So what is more 90s for you? What would you guys consider your guys' high school music, your guys' bands when you guys were in the 90s?
Nirvana.
Yep.
Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Offspring. My first intro to Offspring was a Smash CD.
Oh, that's a great album.
Yeah.
That's a great album. I love Offspring too. I'm a big Offspring fan.
I was all over.
Yeah, I love Offspring.
And when I was going to high school, I was listening to Marilyn Manson, Smashing Pumpkins, and I was also really into like EDM, so electronic dance music, like trance and all that stuff. And
right.
So like I was like all over. Every day, my CD player had a different genre of music in it. I guess just because I was brought up, like so many different musics playing in my house. Like I always had, each day was a different genre for me. So. Yeah,
that's cool, man.
I think I still have like techno CDs and stuff like that when I was like 15,
I have a bunch.
16. Yeah, still got them.
So I graduated in 92, and that's when EDM really, like, I was in Britain and I lived I graduated from England, and there was these raves. And EDM was like taking over. Techno was taking over the stage in England. You would go to crazy raves underneath like crazy raves out in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
And it was like the thing. It was like I guess they call it over here house music, but it was techno over there. I don't know what they call it here, but or what they would, because I've heard some house music.
I've heard house. I've heard a house. Yeah.
I think house and techno are a little they're different.
I think so.
I was more into the trance electronica.
Oh, kind of the lower like music that's kind of leading. Yeah,
and like it's funny because I was sitting there in homeroom, and I was just sitting like this, and I have it playing like blaring in my ear, and my friend takes my earphones off and he starts listening. He goes, "How can you listen to this and stay still?" And I'm like, "I don't know," because it's super fast, like super fast music, and it was it's the way it was.
That's pretty cool. Trance is one of those ones where I think that I have still friends that go to trance concerts and just absolutely love them. And there's a lot of really good trance music still out there. EDM has grown up like so much it's unfunny. Like I'm into EDM as well. EDM has so many genres now. It's not like just Daft Punk and like where things started originally in the 90s and 80s. It's so much different, and there's so many varieties of it. There's goth EDM. There's, you name it. There's a form of EDM that's playing it.
There's steampunk EDM. So if you ever,
right.
I went into a phase. It was like 2 months of just straight up steampunk EDM bands.
Steampunk is an interesting movement, isn't it? So Gary, are you into any of that steampunk? I mean, the music is the music, but then there's also the culture that goes with steampunk.
Culture is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The music not so much, but like I like the way some of it looks. Yeah, like one of my favorite female wrestlers. She started off with the steampunk. Huh?
What?
My mom was.
I miss metal stuff.
I see her face. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I'm just like.
That was great.
What are you doing in there, James? Put the dishes away.
That was great.
It's the other way around.
Does she not know what you're doing? Ma, the meatloaf.
Ma, meatloaf.
That's right. Oh, that's from Step Brothers. No. 4 Weddings. No, what was it? Wedding Crashers?
Yeah.
That's right.
Wedding Crasher.
That was a good movie. Meatloaf, Mom, now!
That was great.
So steampunk has that whole, I mean, that's a crazy movement. Have you seen, I love seeing some of the tattoos that come out of it, because it's that it's kind of that weird. What is your guys' take on steampunk? What do you guys think it is? And then what do you guys, because I have my thoughts about it. I try to not really read what it's supposed to be. I just try to go like, what do I think that is?
I just think that it's people that really dig that whole like era's style, the
Industrial Revolution, yeah,
like they incorporate
the pipes and the steam and the
like the gears and the gears and all the mechanical stuff.
Like more more mechanical stuff.
Yeah, to me, what I think about. Oh yeah, Annapolis.
No, I don't want to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. You were talking.
I'm going to say in Indianapolis, north of the old RCA Dome, near where like the governors of the state capital is, there's like a waterway, and they have an old steampunk clock that operates with the steam and the stuff from the underground. It's pretty cool.
Oh,
that is really cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
See, and that's my thoughts. Now, some of them you can't get the steam to actually do what it's saying it's going to do. Like some of it they can. But my thought is that if the Industrial Revolution carried on the way that it would, without some of the current modifications, like some things, like if the auto car wouldn't have been gasoline driven, it would have been steam driven. This is what the future would have looked like if we would have continued down that path. Like it's a current path, but it's like if steam had just been the thing that rose instead of electricity. Right? That's how I kind of looked at it. Like, because it still has some modern pieces, like they're making clocks and watches, But it's like if electricity hadn't been taking over and steam was actually the steam power part was still there, that's what these pieces would look like. Like the technology would have not changed. It just would have been more advanced ways of making steam work and look and do things.
I just think of, remember that show movie Tank Girl?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's when that actress was attractive. I thought. I think after that she started to go down.
Yeah.
What did she in Free Willy?
Was she in Free Willy?
Yeah, she was like one of the trainers.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't remember Free Willy that well.
I have to go look at who is in it. So it's called Tank Girl.
Tank Girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And her name is Lori Petty. Is that her? Or Naomi Watts?
Lori Petty.
Yeah.
Lori Petty.
Not Naomi Watts. She always has short hair.
She does have Lori does. Like really short hair.
She was in Point Break also with Keanu Reeves.
Oh yeah,
She's
she looks like
really Pauly Shore also.
Yeah, in the Army now.
Yeah, in the Army now. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, she was really she was. You're right. She was in Free Willy.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember Pauly Shore? Oh my god.
So there it is in the Army. Okay, so I for some reason really liked Pauly Shore movies, and like when I was in college, I loved Son-in-Law. I don't know why I liked Son-in-Law so much. It was a ridiculous movie, but
so stupid. But it was funny. It was couldn't help but laugh at it.
I know. So I'm like, hey, look, he's coming in. He's like, it's just ridiculous. Just ridiculousness. Maybe it's because I grew up at Encino Man. Yes. Because what does it have? Brandon Fraser.
Yeah.
Sean Austin.
Yeah. And they're like, and they were so young then. So,
if you like that era, Andy, I watched a show on Hulu today called Kid 90. It's so the actress who played Punky Brewster, Soleil Moonfry.
Yeah.
During that whole time, she had her little camcorders and recorded basically all her life and like kept all her diaries and her recordings and her voice messages. And they made this little documentary and it just showed how rough it was actually being a child actor and stuff. It's just like 1.5 hour show on Hulu. It's called Kid 90. Highly suggest you watch that if you're from that.
I want to see that. One of my friends saw that. Yeah, she mentioned it. I want to see that.
Kid 90.
That's pretty much all the 80s stars and stuff like that.
Okay, so has anybody seen Coming to America 2?
No, I
heard it was really bad.
Yeah,
it is really bad, but
it was bad.
But it has all of the return of the 80s folks. That was the nostalgia part of it is the return of all of the 80s characters from the original movie, plus some of the 80s artists. Like I think they had Salt and Pepper in it.
Did they?
They had In Vogue singing like crazy.
Best part for that movie. Good morning, New York. F you. Yes. F you.
Fuck you too.
That's my favorite part.
And unfortunately, it was one of those ones that was on the commercial, so you were like, "Oh, I don't have to see the rest of the movie." That was it. I like the barbershop scenes with Eddie, older, like Eddie dresses
with
up.
All the Eddies, yeah.
Yeah, all the Eddies.
Arsenio Hall and stuff, yeah.
Arsenio Hall. Now that's a good. I always wondered what the heck happened to him. Like he was such a hot commodity, and then he just dropped off the face of the earth. I don't know what happened to him after that. Because he was like the talk. He was like that talk show that was on it. I think almost down right at the same time that David Letterman, or was he after Letterman? I can't remember. But that was the talk show to watch. Yeah, I think the same time.
Around the same time.
Yeah, I think you're right. Those were the shows to watch right there. You'd have to flip in between them and then watch Johnny Carson first. Yep, that was the thing.
I wasn't. I probably wasn't allowed to watch TV at that time.
Oh, okay. See, that's the problem with being the old guy in the group. That I remember all of these things as they were happening. And the 80s was a really.
You remember Howdy Doody?
don't, but my dad does.
He's like, I don't know.
I don't know Howdy Doody.
We listen to old stories on the radio.
I was listening to stories on the radio, and I liked them.
Yeah.
We used to gather in
Entering
front of the
World
radio.
War Z on the radio.
Do you know what's really funny is that that was their form of entertainment back then. They would really get around the radio and listen to the radio like that was like a television. Absolutely. And it's just crazy to me because my dad said that they did that up until like mid 50s. They were still doing some of that. But it kind of transitioned really, like TV came in and it really transitioned fairly quickly. But the TVs at the time were really expensive.
Well, it's like Back to the Future, where they got like,
Dude.
man, we got two TVs. It's like, you got two TVs, you must be rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, TV just came out.
It was
like color TV.
We'd have to go and turn the dial.
yeah.
See, I remember when I growing up, we had a TV that didn't have a remote, and it wasn't until, I think I was in the 4th or 5th grade is when we got that first 32-inch giant TV. It was like huge, and it had a remote. But before that, I was the clicker. Like I would run up and from my parents and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's the job. That was my job too.
Yeah.
So
Channel 5.
Yeah, go get up there. And they were console television. So you would go into Sears and you would go buy a console television for the front room. And it came in like a wood frame, basically.
Yeah. It was like a tabletop surface.
Yep.
It was huge.
Yeah.
And it had it looked like drawers. It had like handles, looked like drawers. Yeah, I remember that. It was a Zenith. I remember that very vividly.
Yep.
My God.
Yeah, those were console televisions. Those were that was like a piece of furniture in your house.
Yeah.
So there'd be and you would have, it would be functional. Like you could put stuff in those drawers. Yeah, it was a weird time frame.
You're bringing up all sorts of memories now.
Good memories. Good memories of
his childhood trauma. Now. It's coming back in.
So VCRs, the original VCRs had they were top lifting. So you would put the VCR tape in the top and then you'd have to push it down. It wasn't like a front loader. So you'd have to get these. And then our first VCR came with a remote, but it wasn't like an infrared. It had a cable on it. So you would have to hook up your remote to the VCR and then you could run it off this wired remote thing. That was our first VCR. It lasted for a long time too, though, until my sister put something in it.
So I looked up in 1988. It says that a 35-inch TV was around $3,000.
Yep.
That's crazy.
We went to. It was like you had to finance your television when you went to Sears. You had to finance it. It was like $2,000 or $3,000. It was expensive. I remember those days. They were expensive televisions.
That's like putting up a phone to sell your phone in your car. It was like thousands of dollars because you had to hook it up and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember some people that had car phones, and it was like the sound quality wasn't that good either. It was just like a huge unit that sat in in that sides area where your armrests were.
So growing up, my dad always had jobs that gave him perks, right? So he had the job. He had like the perk of having one of the first cell phones. So he had like the giant brick thing with the stubby antenna. It was the huge brick. So he had that. And then as time went on, they got smaller. So he had the first Motorola, it was gray and it was like that thick. It had the bottom that flipped out.
Oh, I remember that. Yep.
We still have that phone to this day in my parents' house, and it still turns on.
Oh my!
You can charge it; it turns on. There's no service to it, but it still works. That thing still works. It's amazing.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
First cell phone. What was your guys' first cell phone?
Mine was I had Virgin Mobile prepaid. Whatever Kyocera was out.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was it.
I think I had a Motorola. I don't know what it was. Almost like this style kind of phone where it was just like, but it was a little bit thicker. But it was through Altel Wireless.
Oh, Altel. There you go. I had a Sprint phone that was I think it was a flip phone. Like right when flip phones came out, it was like a Samsung, and it just flipped open.
Did it have like the blue lights in the
Yeah.
number?
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
And it had like a very basic web app that would. I don't even know what it was navigating. I don't even know what you would actually get off the web. Like it was so bad that if you try to go to a regular website, like I think it had Google, and Google had like some basic mobile app that you could search.
I had the first iPhone before the iPhone existed. See, iTunes collaborated with Motorola, right? So I had the Motorola with iTunes in it. And it was the very first iteration of Apple being in a cell phone space.
Oh, that's interesting.
I had that.
That's cool. I didn't know even that happened. I went into like a Palm Pilot phase, so I had like the Palm Trios, those my dad had one of those. Yeah. Those were great phones. Yeah, I used the heck out of those Palm because it was like a Palm Pilot with a phone on it, so you could make phone calls and then you could do like Palm Pilot stuff. What about you, Gary? What was your first phone?
A big old Motorola brick. We had a family phone.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah,
So
my dad got it for work. It was that big old Zach Morris.
Yeah. What did your dad do for work in Florence? Prison. Okay, that makes sense. So, Gary, just for everybody who knows, me and Gary we grew up in Arizona, and Florence is a city that is on the way in between Tucson and Phoenix. So Tucson's a secondary town. And there's pretty much all I knew of Florence when I was growing up was there was a prison there. That's all I knew of Florence, was that there was a state prison there. And it's still there, but I hear it's closing or something. But so he grew, and it's a small town.
Not all of it.
Yeah. But Gary grew up in that small town, which is not so much a small town anymore. None of those towns are small anymore. Like Christy grew up in a place called Queen Creek, and now it's a suburb of Phoenix. It's so big. But she grew up in a town that was like 20, 30 miles away from Phoenix at one time. And now because of the growth, and Phoenix doesn't grow up, it grows out. There's just a lot of land. And so they just keep building out. So now Phoenix is just a huge metropolis of different towns that have been incorporated into the metropolis. So there's really I hear a dog. I hear people.
Yeah. Dog's here.
The dogs are here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to music. And what was your favorite? So grunge rock, I think we know what Gary's probably is, but what is your favorite grunge rock band, Gary? I don't think we can
have to ask, Nirvana.
Yeah, Nirvana's a really good band.
Yeah.
I mean, that is when you think of grunge, Nirvana is the grunge band. Everything else could be more like alternative. Nirvana was the grunge band. You can't really get more grunge than that.
Right.
In my opinion.
Why? Now, why does anybody know why they called it grunge? I never understood the purpose and why they ever called it. Like, why is it called grunge rock? Because they looked grungy? What was your guys' grunge rock? If you were to say, hey, this is my 90s grunge, and there was a lot of those bands like Pearl Jam, even though you say that is more alternative, but they were in that genre. Like Pearl Jam, you had so many of those bands.
It basically means the term grunge was first used to describe the murky guitar bands. Grunge is a synonym for dirt or grime because of the descriptor of a new music genre. So basically, just that
No, I get it.
dirty guitar, like they're not super clean guitar sounding, just grungy.
Yeah, not distorted, but yeah. Not just a clean distortion. It actually had that like more to it. Yeah. What was your grunge rock, James?
Let's see. Alice in Chains was one. I guess it's a Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam's kind of another. What's another? Stone Temple Pilots were definitely. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. When I think of Pearl Jam, I think more of rock than I do grunge.
Yeah, that's something I was thinking.
Way past.
Yeah, same here. I wouldn't say that as grunge.
It's like everything that was
how
rock.
Nirvana would have evolved.
Very true. Well, I was listening to some Foo Fighters, and Foo Fighters is such a distinct difference than what Nirvana was, in my opinion. I mean, there's some characteristics that are similar, but I would say Nirvana Foo Fighters is a distinct band. Yeah.
Well, along with Nirvana, be Mudhoney as well.
Never would have been.
Right. Foo Fighters is a good band though, and they actually they're really excellent. I think Foo Fighters, and they're kind of they're still rolling without, with record albums and things like that. Record albums. Does anybody even have record albums anymore with albums?
Some
do. There's
now they just go to digital print.
They do, and
they don't really print them.
Do you guys own CD? I mean, I have CDs, but do you guys buy CDs anymore?
No, I don't
anymore. Probably not often. Yeah.
Used to buy
Jonnie has
all the time.
An interesting piece of music. Jonnie has the last cassette made or something like that.
Yeah.
That cassette you got.
It's one of the last cassettes made.
Oh, that's cool.
They did a special limited edition cassette for Guardians of the Galaxy, the soundtrack of the movie.
Yeah.
One of the last cassettes to come out. And I had to wait in line at a record store on Black Friday to get it. And they were only limiting one per person. And somebody broke the case.
And you can never listen to it.
It's
cracked.
To it.
It's cracked.
Oh.
Someone touched it and broke it. It's cracked right there.
Oh no.
I'm still not gonna open it, but that sucks.
They did it.
That fucking sucks. You know how long I waited? I waited hours for this thing. Wow.
This is Awesome Mix Volume 1. So is that supposed to look like a cassette they had in the movie or something?
Yeah. He has this in his tape player. That's what it's called, Awesome Mix Volume 1. And on the back, you have all the songs on there. And
cool.
And it looks like it's written in pen, but of course it's not. But if you ever see the movie, like all the music that's in the movies on this cassette.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's an actual cassette.
And they only charged $8.99 for it? Damn.
Yeah. Only limited one per customer. And I tried to get a second one because I went to one record store on in Route 1 in Woodbridge, New Jersey, called Vintage Vinyl, and that's where I got the first one. And then I went all the way to Princeton to another record store to try and get a second cassette, but by the time I got there, they were sold out, so it was gone.
But you have it.
I have it, but the case is cracked.
That is the story of cassette tapes since I was a kid.
Well, let's talk about something controversial. We'll get more viewers and more chat activity. Let's start talking shit about something. Come on.
Yeah, Metal Chef just got attacked. Did you just notice that his whole thing shook in the light?
Well, it was one of the dogs. Like they're definitely not like friends with. We have a couple cats too, and they're definitely not friends. So like,
Metal Chef, you can't make cookies as good as Miss Bluegrass. Your cookies are nothing compared to Miss Bluegrass. Ooh, let's fight! Come on.
Oh yeah, we need
Fight Club.
We that'd be interesting. We need a cookie bake off.
You know what?
So
That's what we need.
there's like a little standoff going on, and then they just start going ape shit.
I've had the privilege of actually enjoying cookies from two of the best bakers in the community. James, he's sent me cookies before twice, and Mel, I've had lots of Mel's cookies. But yeah, James is a pretty dang good cookie maker himself.
You know who hasn't had any cookies from anybody? This guy right here.
Me neither.
No cookies from anybody.
Mr. Vegan.
I know.
Look,
So
Nobody makes tasteless cookies.
I would break it for some high quality cookies, all right?
I definitely tried to get Mel's cookies because they always go for like $400.
One at a time, please.
Well, if you want some cookies, you got to bring the heat, son.
I always lose the heat on the auctions.
I tell you what. I could tell you what. If there's any more auctions in the next few months, I can't bid on any more cookies. One, I'm going broke. Two, I'm gaining way too much weight, and I shouldn't be gaining weight considering I have the stomach the size of a peanut. So, yeah. Well, I probably stretched my stomach out eating all this shit.
I'm trying to think of anything controversial at all, and that I want to talk about. And I was trying to think of something musically controversial, but we did bring up the Van Hagar days, Van Halen days.
Van Hagar.
That was crazy. Were
I like
you guys
Sammy
even
Hagar? I just don't like Van Hagar.
Are they related?
No.
So
I don't know. Don't look at me like
Van
this.
Halen. So people called Van Hagar when when David Lee Roth left the band or got kicked out of the band, Sammy Hagar entered, and that's when they call it Van Hagar because it was Van Halen and Sammy Hagar. And the reason why they differentiate is because lots of people who are Van Halen purists say that's when the band went to hell. Because they're like, oh, that Sammy Hagar guy, he's not that good. He's not, and it was, I don't know. I still
They
like
had some good songs though. Had a couple good songs.
They did. I like Pound Cake. I love some of their. They had an album
right here, right now. Hey.
Yeah, what was that? Illegal carnal knowledge. Unlawful carnal knowledge. It was F for unlawful carnal knowledge. So FUCK. That was the name of their album.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was they had Pound Cake on it. It had Can't Stop Loving You on it. It was actually a really good album, and I really liked. He had some really really good some of his guitar stuff was amazing on that album.
Sammy Hagar is good, but Van Halen is not good with him. I don't know if you would say it was a different band.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I call it Van Hagar. David Lee Roth is an excellent frontman, and he only did like 2 or 3 more albums after Van Halen. So he did Eat 'Em and Smile, then he did Skyscraper, and I don't know if he had another one after that.
Do you remember when Van Halen they had a third frontman after Hagar and Roth? It was the lead singer from
who was that? Was it
crap?
It was a 90s
they
band.
They did one album with him, I think. It was a was it Faith? Not Faith No More. Freaking Sagan. Dang it. Well, I'm gonna have to look now. Hold on.
I just know that one of them made the Cabo Wabo.
I think his first name was Gary too. Oh, that's Sammy Hagar.
And it's some good
Gary
tequila.
Chironi, yes. He was the front. He was from the band Extreme. Gary Chironi.
Yeah. Did you guys get into so this is the weird every time I listen to Extreme, so I was a big Extreme, especially pornography, right? I like that album a lot because it had like a real heavy front end to it. Like their first part of their album was all heavy, and then the last part was all this flowy stuff. And then somebody said, if you don't like them because they're so, I can't remember what they were. I mean, it was just very negative connotations about their music. And I was just like, Extreme I thought was an excellent band. I still play they have this song called He-Man Woman Hater. And the intro to He-Man Woman Hater is a electric guitar version of the Flight of the Bumblebee. It's Flight of the Wounded Bumblebee. It's called Flight of the Wounded Bumblebee.
That's cool.
Freaking amazing solo. I mean, it is exactly the Flight of the Bumblebee, but on a guitar. And it just sounds amazing to me.
Oh, wow.
I know how to play that because I just love that song. And it was... Extreme did a lot of really. Who was their guitarist? Shoot. He's like one of the best guitarists out there, and I don't know why I don't know his name.
So you can play Flight of the Bumblebee on the guitar?
I can.
Wow.
I play that version of it. Which is basically the Flight of the Bumblebee, but it has like a metal sound to it.
You want to hear some interesting information I'm reading on the Wikipedia. So we've all heard the story that Van Halen was totally douche for their contract writers, and they demanded the M&Ms in separate colors individually, and all the brown M&Ms had to be removed. Yeah. So the reason why they did that is because they wanted to test. They came up with the writers because they wanted to test the venue's power, availability, security, structural, and weight distribution details. So the reason why they put the M&M stuff in there wasn't to be a pain in the ass or pretentious. It was because the band wanted to make sure that the electrical, structural, security, and safety requirements in the rider had been thoroughly observed. The only way they would have known that if they read it and saw the demand for the M&Ms. If they come in the room and see the M&Ms, they know that they read all the other stuff that meant more to them.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Interesting.
It's a great strategy. Whoever thought that up was a genius.
For real, yeah.
They said if the bowl was missing or brown M&Ms were present, the Van Halen management would be within their rights to have their crew or the venue inspect the work, redo it, or even cancel the night's production at the venue's expense.
Wow.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's interesting.
Because they knew. They
knew.
knew.
There's something new every night.
Yeah, they knew
wow.
They didn't read it. Yeah.
So I saw Van Halen in their last tour that they kind of like half of it didn't happen. It went to Phoenix, and then the other part, like David Lee Roth was hurt or sick or something, and then they had to cancel the rest of the tour. And I had friends that left in the middle of it. They were like, this is so horrible, I can't stay for it. I'm just like, how could you not stay for the original lineup of Van Halen, or at least as close to the original lineup as Van Halen? But Kool and the Gang was the opener. That's just throwing that out. Like Kool and the Gang was the opener for Van Halen. I'm like, yeah, the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, and everybody was like, Kool and the Gang was better than Van Halen. I'm like, shut up. That can't even be true. Not even true. So, yeah, I like Van Halen a lot. Eddie, I started playing a lot of Van Halen songs back when I first started. Well, actually, you have to be good enough to play Van Halen. You can't play, like, you just can't pick up a riff like when you're first beginning. It's too difficult. Huh. But Eruption is the song that everybody loves to play, and that is a extremely difficult but a very fun song to play. Because he has so many different parts of, like, he has tapping, he has so many great soloing techniques in just one song. It's crazy, just absolutely crazy how difficult and how technical it is. But it's still a lot of fun to play.
Interesting. I tried to learn how to play the guitar once, and I just gave up. I don't know.
It's one of those. Yeah, see, I have two electrics. I have the one that I grew up on, and then I have a Fender Strat. I've been wanting to get a Les Paul for years and years. And one of these days I'm going to buy it, maybe with this new job. So I can finally talk about that.
Yeah.
I can talk about that.
Go for it.
So I am quitting a job after 23 plus years and moving to a new company.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I am. It was a huge thing for me, but I can't even believe that I'm leaving the company that I've been. Like, I raised my kids in this company. I had my babies. My daughter was like 6 months my oldest daughter was like 6 months, who's now 24 when I joined this company. So, I've basically helped me provide money to help support my family throughout the years. And now I think it's just time for, sometimes you're just like, you get to the end and you're just like, and me and Gary kind of talked about this at time. I've talked to him about it, where it's just, you just know it's time,
Right.
And I've told people, I said, you just know it when it's time to leave, because you're just done. I'm done with this chapter of my life. Right.
Right.
So, I've told so many people that it was such a hard decision to leave, it was so difficult to leave.
I bet.
But now I've done it, and granted, there is more money involved, but I'm just happy to, try out something new. So
good.
Yeah.
It's always good to start somewhere new.
Yeah. So exciting news. I start the 29th. So this is my last week. I'm on call this weekend, and then this new company doesn't have on call. So I'm excited, no on call. Yeah. I think it's been 20 years of on call. I don't think that I've ever not had an on call for like a long, long time. I used to have like the original Motorola pagers. When I first started my on call journey in like the late 90s, I had an on call pager and one of those like Nokia cell phones that you would just hand off to your different people. So you didn't have your own cell phone. It was like the department's cell phone and pager. And you would just, every time you went to an on-call, you would just switch it to that person. You would just give it to them. Basically, you would just give it. It wouldn't be like they would call a different number. You just give them the pager, and that would be the phone number that anybody wanted to call.
Wow.
Did they try and keep you? Did they try and say, hey, is there anything we can do to make you stay or anything like that?
I really think that I think this was a mutuality. So I think that they were like, for 5 seconds, they were like, well, we're sad you're leaving. Bye.
Oh.
Wow.
It's just, sometimes you outgrow, or maybe the company changes direction. And about a couple years back it did, and it just took me a bit to actually figure out that the direction that they chose was not something where my skill sets were needed anymore. Not the same skill sets.
Right.
But they gave me the skill sets. Now they're trying to they were trying to throw me into a different skill set, which was cool, but it just wasn't where I was at anymore. So I'm, it's bittersweet, but at the same time, I think bigger and better, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think so. My friends are telling me like, "Hey, what is it like? Has it hit you yet? Because you've been here, like you're like a foundation here. Like everybody knows who you are." And I'm just like, it hasn't hit me yet, or maybe it hasn't made that big of a deal. I don't know.
I guess when you feel it when you feel it when you don't go.
Yeah, and the weird, right. Or you don't talk, or you're not talking to the people that you've been talking to for like 20 years.
Yeah,
or you're so used to like the routine, the routine of going to this certain place, and then you have to go to another place.
Yeah,
which is different because now that we're all remote, that's what I was thinking. Now I'm remote, so I don't need to be part of that. You know, so it's just interesting. I think that I always think of things like that. That it's like, I think you just know it's time, and they're not giving me like a fanfare because it's all remote. Like most people would get like some sort of party for leaving and finding a new job,
right?
Especially after such a long career. I just think that they're like, bye. All I got was here's where to return your equipment. That's what I got. Here's where to return your equipment, sir.
Here's this.
Did they have like a retirement that you could have just retired because you've been there so long?
No, they don't have pensions or anything. It's just all 401k here. And so it's just it's just surreal. And I know that other friends that I've had leave. So I had 2 colleagues leave before me. And it's kind of what made me help make my decision, that it was like, they were there the same amount of time. They were like my brothers. Like, I've been with the same company for 23 years. They were with the same company for 22 to 24 years. So, and we were in the same department for at least the last 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been hanging out with these guys forever. Like, you can almost complete each other's sentences, or what that person's going to do. So you don't do it because so-and-so is going to do that.
Right.
As part of a project. You're like, I don't need to write the documentation. So-and-so is already doing it. And I wouldn't even I would just know it because that's what they would do. But now my first guy, after the big org change that we had, he lasted like 2 months into it and said, I'm out of here. And then a guy about a month and a half ago left. And then it was just me by myself.
Am I the only one that's noticed the picture on your wall changed?
On my wall?
Is that a different picture?
Yeah. I didn't have a wall before. Or I didn't have a picture before.
The picture. I thought you had a Buddha.
You had a background.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Didn't you have like a divider, like a faux wall?
I did. I had a room divider. So because so here's what I was originally doing. I just was filming in my bedroom, and then I was told I was kicked out of the bedroom. So then I tried to do it in another area, and then I was kicked out of there. So now I'm in the closet, and I still had that divider. And then I said, maybe I'll just do something with the background lights. And so I think this looks better.
Yeah, looks better.
Yeah.
And it has a picture.
Nice looking closet.
It is a very nice looking closet. But you know what? The interesting thing about closets is the sound in the closet is really good. Like, it's acoustically really good. You don't have to soundproof a closet because all the clothes are in it. So you don't have to do as much of the soundproofing. So you don't pick up any echo. It sounds like your microphone picks up exactly what it needs to pick up. There's no reverb or anything.
It looks like it's a big closet because you're in there. I mean, like, I'm just visualizing like the door, right? And then there's a desk, and then behind the desk is clothes, right?
Yeah, it's a fairly good size
closet. He has a light
closet.
Switch in his closet. It's got to be big.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It does have a light switch. And the funny thing is I have, how many lights do I have on this thing? I have 3 lights for this setup. I have a 4th light that I can put up. And then I have another LED light that I can put for backlighting.
I think just the fact that you have power outlets in the closet.
Yeah.
It's probably a bedroom. We're just saying.
When we were
in New York, that's a family house of 4.
So when we were first looking into what we were going to do with all of these, because Gary knows that the walk-in closets in Arizona are huge. I mean, they're massive. The floor space for most of the houses in Arizona are huge. I mean, my house is what was your house? Like, you lived in Florence. Was it 2,300, 2,400 square feet for your house that you had built in Florence?
The house that we lived in the Anthem part of Florence. Our house was about 1,400, 1,600. And before that, our house was 20-something hundred square feet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because we went from a huge house and then downgraded because too much house. And we had too much house when we only had a family of 3.
Oh, right. That makes sense. So we're trying to get rid of kids. So eventually I'll get my own room. Eventually. When we first moved into this house, all of the kids became adults. So we were like, okay, we have a 2,400 square foot. I will have my own office. Well, then kids kept staying and they're not leaving. and like my 29-year-old came back. I'm like, hey, you're not allowed to come back. Okay, guys, it's an hour and 30 minutes in.
The Flight of the Navigator?
What is that? That does sound like the Flight of the Navigator, doesn't it?
Yeah, what is that noise?
It's all James. It's in the background. Is like something's going on.
There's nothing going on. There's no more noise.
There's no noise?
No, I mean the AC's going, but that's about it.
Oh, that's weird. It
sounds like an astral being talking. That's what it sounds like.
Somebody was hacking our thing, and now it's all quiet and it doesn't happen
Now
anymore.
it's quiet. Yeah.
Well, it is an hour and a half in. We've had a really good discussion, and I always have to exit stage left because people actually want to see me and talk to me, and I don't want to piss off the wife because she'll start banging on the closet door on a Thursday. So, what do you guys got going on the next couple of weeks, Gary?
Well, tomorrow's grocery shopping night, like every Friday. And then my boys are camping with Boy Scouts on Saturday. So for the first time in a long time, my wife and I will have the day to ourselves.
Oh my goodness! What are you guys planning?
So I'm going
You
to
just
spend the
gonna sit and
entire
watch
day. I'm
television?
going to. Now we'll probably go do some stuff, and I don't know, whatever she wants to do. I'm going to shut my my phone down, and we're just going to do whatever she wants to do.
There you go. Happy wife, happy life. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I neglect her. I
Mr.
spend a
Jonnie?
lot of time doing this stuff, so she deserves a day.
Oh, for sure, man. I can't even imagine. I know how. I mean, that's a full-time job in itself. So yeah, absolutely. What do you got going on, Jonnie?
I got a scent review coming out, and that's pretty much it. Well, tomorrow's reviewers table. So
Yeah, viewers table is on my channel. So just let
yes.
you know.
So we'll be back here. Yeah, and this weekend, I don't think I'm doing anything this weekend. Not that I know of.
That's actually really good. I
Fast
enjoy
Lane's this
the
weekend.
What?
Fast
Lane
Lane.
is Sunday, right?
Is it?
Yeah, you have to
What is
have
that?
Peacock. You can't watch it on WWE Network.
Wait, what now?
Everything switched. WWE Network is now on Peacock Plus. You have to subscribe to Peacock, and it's cheaper.
Oh, I thought they did that switch already. I thought that was for WrestleMania.
No, Fastlane's the first pay-per-view to be on the Switch.
Oh shit! All right, then I have to. All right. Oh, maybe
Yeah,
I'll let
I gotta
it
go to the Peacock too because I watch the pay-per-views.
Now isn't Peacock like free? I thought Peacock was free.
No. Peacock. It's
No.
an NBC streaming service for NBC.
Oh, okay. I thought it was free. Well, what do you got going on, James? I know you always got some working, maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty much working. I'm kind of just getting some stuff done around here. Girlfriend's kind of been in the hospital last week or so. Yeah, like Monday was a week, so she had a little bit of action going on. So she had to have some surgery. So she had to have that lance. There was just a good infection down by her leg that she had to get lanced, and so she's been there for about a week. So I'm kind of just getting some stuff done up around here and whatnot.
How's she doing?
She's doing good. She had the surgery a couple of days ago. It didn't last that long. It was just she's just going through the pain of it, but it's not nothing too serious. I mean, everything's taken care of. It's just now it's just got to heal. So she can't get a break. She can't go even a good 6 months without being in a hospital or something.
Right.
Let alone 2-3 months. Yeah. So,
well, I know that's kind of been on. So a lot of prayers going her way, man. That's tough. That's tough because she's been in and out of the hospital. That's tough, man.
Yeah.
Christy had a stint where she's had several. She had MRSA really bad. And they were on the last whatever they used to get rid of MRSA because you can't really use antibiotics. And boy, that was a miserable week and a half. You had to wear, because of its MRSA and it's so easily spread. I had to go in with a hospital gown and feeties and this weird ear mask thing, and you could only see, the only thing that you could see was my face. And I think I had to wear goggles or something too. I mean, it was a whole thing to be hanging out with her.
Yeah.
And luckily she got better, but man, they were on they said they were on the last treatment that they were going to try. Otherwise there wasn't another one and you could just basically die from it. It's horrible. But Yeah, MRSA's like no, it's like MRSA's
serious.
Yeah, it's pretty serious.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I'm glad she's in the hospital and but she's recovering okay.
Yeah, she's doing good. It's just a recovery part. It's just
Oh, good. Have you guys ever? I've never been to the hospital ever. I've never been physically I've been the reason why I was in the hospital.
I was in the hospital for a very almost annually because I had really bad asthma, and so like every time I'd have an asthma attack, I would be admitted, and sometimes I would spend like Christmas in the hospital. Like I was in the hospital a lot growing up. I was always a sick kid. So yeah.
Oh wow. What about you, Gary? Have you ever been like actually in a surgery or something and had to stay in the hospital?
Yeah, well, I had my surgery this summer. It'd be 2 years, so I had my surgery for my stomach stuff.
Okay.
But then when I was in the military, I was in the hospital for about a week when I got in that car accident.
Gotcha.
Stuff like that.
Oh, that's right. I remember you telling me about that.
The only surgery I had was an optional surgery. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to tell you that I have a lot going on in the next week and a half. I got Reviewers Table. I always look forward to Reviewers Table. Me, Jonnie. We might even sometimes we throw Gary in. So, yeah, we try to have a good community of friends that are, we just love to just chat and just shoot the crap. That's kind of what we're trying. Like we're trying to get beer. So people who want to know, who are probably the 5 people that are listening right now. The beards and desserts, we really want to start getting more different artists and things on here, or not just beard product companies, and I know it's beards and desserts, but we really want to kind of do something different because everybody's interviewing the same people over and over again. And me and James this year talked, and we're like, we're going to try to be consistent with people, but we want to put different people on that nobody else has talked to. So James is my talent coordinator.
Such a prestigious title. Yeah.
He is. He's the talent coordinator. He's found some awesome people.
James is a chef, so
he's a chef and a talent
Gordon
coordinator.
Ramsay. Come on, James. Gordon Ramsay.
That's right.
Hey, yeah. You gotta get some celebrity chefs on here.
Your goal.
That's right.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. He's gotten some good leads.
Or Rachel Ray.
He's gotten. Yeah, and that's Rachel Ray's good. But those are the things that we had. I think me and James we've had such a blast with some of the people to come on. We've had different people. Like some of them are beard companies I've never heard of, like Turnbull or that build your own beard company guy. That was interesting. So we've had some interesting guests. So that's what we're dedicated to, is to keep doing interesting folks that are unique, that nobody's maybe heard of, or a few people have heard of, so that we can get, and we would love to bring more musical stuff on, because we're both big, huge hard rock fans and metal fans. So we would love to get more of those type of, and those artists, some of them are doing nothing right now. So being able to bring somebody on who maybe they're 20 years past when their metal was, brand new and stuff, but I love talking musicians, and I think we had such a good time last week. So we're going to continue trying to find and strive for just new content and trying to make it better. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing on this channel. And then tomorrow again, Reviewers Table. I start a new job, and it'll be fun. Also, I'm going to be starting some new different type of reviews that are different than most people have done with beard product reviews. So look forward to seeing that in the near future. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm tired. I was on call all night last night, and I'll tell you, the on-call is a killer. So, yeah. So thank you guys for coming on. We totally appreciate it. Jonnie and Gary, totally appreciate it. You guys are good friends.
Some CBD and go to bed.
No doubt. It is like 9:40. Yeah, it's no doubt. I would be in bed in 10. I'd be almost ready in bed at this time of night. Like I'm in bed at 9:30. I don't know about you guys, but at 9:30 on a weeknight, I'm like laying down. I'm maybe watching some television and going to bed. So But it's only 6:40 here.
Oh, yeah, it's early for you.
Yeah, we're still in prime time hours here. Well, I got to go and do some dishes. Thanks for you guys thanks to everybody who came in. We did have some loyal listeners who were hanging out with us, so we appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Later.